Hi guys, so the UK Chancellor Rishi Sunak has this week promised a tax on online sales in an attempt to help struggling bricks and mortar retail outlets. But an online sales tax would push up prices for all consumers. This is according to a British retail lobby. Due to rising retail job losses and store closures, which were triggered by the pandemic, the Chancellor is looking at taxing internet shopping in England as a potential replacement for rates, which are levied on companies based on the premises they use. The problem is, according to the British consortium, consumers would face higher prices online if the tax was launched. They said, and I quote, "Taxing the sales or delivery of online goods would simply be another burden on an already overtaxed industry, one that would ultimately hit consumer spending through higher prices." They went on to say, "Throughout the pandemic, many of us have been relying on retailers to ramp up their online services to ensure that we get all the goods we need. The government should not harm these efforts by further taxation, and businesses should be allowed to provide those services and to the people they serve." Britain is facing the worst recession for 300 years. Yes, 300 years. So the Treasury is facing a hole in public financing of more than £322 billion as a result of the pandemic. Now, according to the Times, Sunak is looking at two ways of online retail tax, one being a levy of about 2% on all goods bought online, which is expected to raise about £2 billion a year. Another is a tax on consumer deliverables, which would also be hoped to curb traffic and pollution. Now, this isn't the first time such a tax has been thought about. In 2019, a Commons committee asked the government to look at an online sales tax. At the time, they warned that the business rate system was broken and placed an unfair burden on bricks and mortar retailers when they attempted to compete with online sellers. So this government review comes out at a time while households are under growing financial pressure as many consumers stay away from high street stores because of the pandemic. Online shopping has risen since the start of the pandemic to about £3 for every £10 spent in total. Now that's up from £2 before the pandemic began. This is a regressive way of dealing with changes in consumer habits. People are becoming more and more familiar with online shopping, and as the experience gets better and better, there will be a continuous shift away from physical stores. Adding a tax will not convince the public to avoid online shopping, so while it may help bricks and mortar stores in the short term, they face issues such as expensive rents, smaller numbers of customers, and risks of future lockdown. Both bad messaging and fear surrounding this pandemic is keeping people away from bricks and mortar stores. And of course, this is having a detrimental effect on this form of retail. I think the day of small stores and shopping centres is on the way out. Let me know in the comments section what you guys think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. Why not become a Patreon and enjoy access to our Discord server where we share news, chat, and have some fun. If you become a patron, you can also make video suggestions on topics that are important to you. Check it out via the link in the description.